Hi, this is Natalie, and today we have the privilege to be with Shashank here in India, and he's gonna let us know what's the market here, who can buy, what are the rules or regulations, what's the law. So yeah, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you, Natalie. And yes, I don't know whether you are aware or not, but in India, only Indian resident or people who are from Indian origin, right? So they can only buy. So if you are a resident Indian or a non-resident Indian, but you are in a foreign country, like say your parents moved to US or Canada, Australia, any country. But if you still wanted to invest back in India, you are allowed to purchase a property.
Okay.
A people from a foreign nationality cannot buy on his individual name, unfortunately, in India, because after independence, the government has decided, right, to control that thing.
Yeah.
Because we have been ruled by like Britishers for a long time.
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, that is one of the factor. They have changed it, so not any foreign national can buy in India. There are ways of doing it, forming up the companies, there are the structuring. It's a long process. It's not like they cannot buy at all, but yes, the process is very critical. So only the people who are actually from India, the people who are from Indian origin, their parents, their grandfathers who are coming from India, they can actually apply for a POI or OCI card, and then they can purchase a property in India.
So share with us a little bit about the financing. How does it work here? Are people allowed to get loans?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you wanted to purchase your first, if you're a first-time home buyer, so obviously there are subsidies from the government side. If you are purchasing a ticket size, like for example in US you have 500,000. Like if you are buying below 500,000 or first-time home buyer, you will get a different interest rate, different deposit. It's the same.
Okay.
Whether you are buying on a name of a woman or a man, right? So there's a different stamp duties, registration charges.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, so that's a benefit. So if you are purchasing a property on the name of a female, right? So majority of the states in India, they offer you a 1%, I would say, waiver in the stamp registration. While registering the property, that means you are booking a 1% discount.
Okay.
Technically, if you are buying husband wife, like male and female name, then again there's a different slab for it.
Okay.
For first time home buyers, the government right now they are working on housing for all in India. So for that scheme, if you are buying a property which is under 75,000 or 75,000 USD basically.
Okay.
So you will get a rebate in your interest rate when
Okay.
you are going to take a mortgage. So these are a couple of motivating factors where people should invest, take advantage of it. Financing is pretty much available from private sources, from banks, from NBFCs. So there are a lot of lenders. If you have a good score, you can still purchase a property. If you don't have a good score, CIBIL score, you can build it in next 6 months to 1 year, and then you can purchase it. Or maybe you can put a deposit and try to build the score and get yourself a mortgage. So there are always, and again, all you need to do is hire a good professional realtor who can help you, who can tell you all this minor things about purchasing a property, giving you the right advice, and how you can actually own a property. And for foreign nationals also, they can definitely apply for a mortgage if they wanted to purchase a property in India, because in India and US there's a tax treaty. Similarly, if you have a good CIBIL there, right, so they can evaluate and you can get up to 50 to 60% of the finance if you are from Indian origin.
Oh, okay.
And you are holding a bank account, so they will have some understanding. They are collaborating with some of the banks in US, UK, specifically Middle East. So you can get the benefit of the CIBIL and they can evaluate your score.
So that would be the score in the US.
Correct.
They can take it
Yeah,
into
so
account here.
there's a comp. So they compare on different parameters, and if you have a profile, good CIBIL score, you can take advantage of that in India as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So then you don't have to be here to purchase.
No.
They can purchase
No.
from the US.
No.
For investment properties.
Yeah.
And if it's not a primary home, is there a different tax rate for an investment?
See, right now, it's all standard in India. There's no foreign buyer tax in India, unfortunately, right? Or I would say luckily. Yeah, so it's not unfortunately. But yes, if you are a foreign national, if you are not using that property, then you can put it as a rental, right? So long-term rental and short-term rental. Long-term rental, you can see return up to 3 to 4%.
Okay.
For a short-term rental, depending which location you are taking, it's in a metro cities, city like Bangalore, Delhi, metro cities, you can see a rental yield of 3 to 4%. Short-term, it can go as high as 6 to 7%. If you are getting your money invested in a holiday home or good tourist destination in India, there you can maybe expect short-term rentals or Airbnbs as up to 12 to 15% also.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Are they sellers financing when you buy a development like in a pre-construction phase? Will that developer be the one that finances?
Yeah.
Plus the bank, or?
So unlike any US market, so in India, majority all the banks, all the lenders, they give you the financing at the time of pre-construction.
Okay.
If you are purchasing a pre-construction property, so you are getting into early stage, you just need to put a deposit of 5 to 10%.
Okay.
So suppose you wanted to purchase a condo of 200,000 USD. So what you need to do, you just need to put a deposit of 10,000, right, or 20,000, which is a 10% or 20% of the property value, or 5% or 10% of the property value. Then up to 80-85% you will get funded from the banks, and that funds is also not going upfront. It will also distributed as per the construction.
Okay.
So the bank will release, they will monitor how the developer is constructing, and on the basis of that you will do. So that's a very good way of flipping the house.
Yeah.
So you can purchase you can purchase a property in a very early stage by putting 10%, 20%, and then if you have money, if you can self-finance it, pay on the regular intervals after 1 year, 2 years. When the project is towards the completion, it's getting ready, the price appreciate 20 to 25%, right? So even though if you are taking a mortgage, you will ended up making 15% on what you have invested. Yeah. And also some time to time in India, these developers, they give you an opportunity where you can purchase a property by just putting 15% or 20% as a preferred, or I would say pre-commitment kind of a thing, and rest 80% you have to pay at the time of possession. So no payment in between.
So they can build in the meantime, and then you can
so they take a commitment from you that okay, half of my inventory is already sold, now half of the inventory I will sell in on premium. So they give you a discount because you are coming at a very early stage. And then what is the advantage for you, someone like you, for example, if you are putting your money, you're purchasing a property by putting a 20% deposit now, and rest you have to pay after 24 months. Right? There's no in between payment, there's no mortgage, there's nothing. Right? So what will happen eventually, they will sell 50% at a lower price. And after 24 months, when the project will get completed, they got the fund from these 20-25%, like 50 people, and they will construct the whole project by putting 50% of their money. And at the time of possession, when they will launch last of the inventory, it will almost double the price.
Wow.
So you make almost 30-40% right on your investment, because you are making money on the exact value of the condominium. Like suppose you have purchased a 200,000, you put a deposit of 20,000. Hypothetically, what will happen when you sell it? You will get the premium on the whole value. So if the property value appreciated by 15% in 2 years, so what will happen? So if you take an example, you have put a deposit of 10%, you are making a profit of 15%.
That's great.
Right, on the whole value,
not
on your deposit.
Just with just with
so
10% down.
If you are putting like 20,000, you are actually making 35,000, and 20,000 what you have put. So basically your 20,000 is become 200% return. It's more than 200% because actually you have put that money.
So you can buy multiple apartments.
Yeah, if you have a good score, you have a good and if you plan like in a very strategic manner, a husband wife can actually double their money in 4 or 5 years. But you have to work smartly. You need to have hire a good realtor who has all these knowledge, and that can help you.
That's awesome. So for this an example here, in some countries that we are exploring, there's some always issues with the titles and everything. Is that something that will be risky here?
Yeah. So right now, if you ask me, yes, there was a situation in India, but things improved drastically. The government has put a very strict actions against the developers. So buying a primary property is not very kind of a risky thing now, because we have introduced RERA, which is a Real Estate Regulatory Authority Act, RERA license. So developer has to deliver the project in a timeline.
Okay.
If they are not going to deliver, then there will be interest. So that actually boosts a lot of sentiments in terms of buyers and taking care for buyers perspective, and they're taking care of buyers interest. So it makes more, I would say moderate risky. But if you are buying in a secondary market, old land, agricultural land, it is a kind of tricky still, and if you are buying in outskirts, right? So in the countryside, it's a difficult situation, like especially in farmlands, what we talk about.
I understand.
Yeah, so it's always good to buy, good metro cities, good developer. Profile of the developer always, vary, because there are good listed developers who are delivering 10,000, 20,000 units on an annual basis. So I think you should target and get your money invested wisely.
Yeah, and I see that your team does a very good job of pre-screening any property before it goes online with EXP, right?
Correct. So we make sure that we have a parameters, check parameters, that developer who's having credibility, who's delivery on time, who's paying on time, who's whatever he is committing in terms of quality, in terms of delivery, they are delivering. So we'll make sure, our team is make sure, our realtors are make sure that we should work with a good developer, so that our client should be happy.
Yeah, I like that. You have the whole protection for the client.
Yeah.
You vet the developers ahead of time, so the EXP team within India can be safe that whatever they're offering that you already pre-screened is a good product.
Yeah. And also, if you talk about India as a economic, so we are already third largest in terms of, I would say, economies, right? So we are also growing.
Yeah.
So right now, if you talk about 5 years back, we were not even top 10, but now I think we are in the 5th or 6th. It keep on cupping up and down. We are one of the fastest, like second fastest growing economy after China. Right, so we are a developing nation. There are a lot of opportunities which was not there in India. Like if you talk about infrastructure, the government has invested, heavily in last 7 years in infrastructure, building roads, transport, railways, airports. So this is driving a lot of, connectivity. This is driving a lot of demand. This is driving a lot of, ease of doing business, both for commercial, both for warehousing, industrial, and residential. So more and more, areas are, I would say, modernizing. So there is a new urban areas coming up. So on an every statics wise, every day we are building 17 kilometers, or if I have to convert it, around 11 miles of highways in this country. And this is on continuous basis, right? We are adding more 250 plus airports in next 7 years. So just imagine, we're in the phase, if you compare to any Western countries, where they were like about 30-40 years back.
Okay.
Right. So
and you're doing everything in 7 years.
Right. So now every city is coming, self-sustainable city. More and more population coming from rural side to urban areas. More demand, more migration happening. So this is why prices are also appreciating. We are also again, India, if you see, it's one of the stable economy about this recession what we are seeing in other countries. So Dubai, India, because we are now kind of in a situation where consumerism is very high.
Yeah.
So if you talk about that, more stable government, right? There was, if you compare with any competitor, or I would say any neighboring countries, India is again, the growth, the GDP is one of the best, right? So all these things are, I think, plays a very crucial when it comes to the investment from foreign market. And if you talk about foreign investment in real estate, it's almost doubling down every year in India, because better returns in commercial, residential, or different asset classes, I would say.
That was great information. So what advice would you give to those families back in the US that they don't know what to do with their money, they don't want to invest in the US, it's too expensive right now?
Yeah.
What would be your message to them?
So definitely, invest in India. I think Modi ji is also saying, our current Prime Minister, they are also selling India. I'm also wanted to pass on the same message. If you have money, like suppose you have 10,000 USD, which is a spare, I think you should invest in India. There's attractive offers for NRI, especially foreign nationals who are purchasing properties in India. Developers are giving, special payment plans, and all you need to do is, just explore good market, upcoming real estate market, because in real estate there's a saying, right? So don't wait to purchase a real estate, purchase real estate and then wait. So you can easily exit. There's a very fair practices, especially sending money to India and getting money back from India, right? So everything is very much possible, and every much is pretty much possible if you have a right professional with you, if you have a right realtor with you. So start exploring. And as I said, India, you can easily own a 2-bed condo by investing just 50,000-60,000 USD. Right, that is kind of affordable housing, because where government is giving subsidies, that's why the prices are very low. Right, and if you talk about the luxury market, yeah, it's a huge market in India. Rentals, holiday homes is also huge in Goa hills, right? And if you wanted to purchase a property in good metro cities of India, you won't find a condo less than $1 million in a good locality, right? So again, every market has different areas. It's all about location. But India is, as I said, it's evolving. It's one of the developing nation, and for real estate, basic fundamentals is like invest when market is, obviously there's a potential in the market, not when the market is saturated. So already if you talk about West, yes, pricing is going high, mortgage rate is almost doubled. So I think this is the right time to hedge your investments, right? And India can be a best option in that sense.
Yeah, I love it, and it's beautiful here. I mean, you have to visit to understand what's around. And thank you so much for all the information you give us. And we're gonna be showing some of the developments you guys have.
Like, oh yeah, absolutely.
I was in love with a few.
Yeah. So stay tuned, and stay tuned to the channel, Natalie, and she's traveling all over the country and meeting people here, seeing the developments also. And do let us know in case you need any help. Our team is there, our team of expert advisors is there who will help you, especially foreign nationals, to purchase properties in other countries. So do let us know in case you need any help, and all the best to you, Natalie.
We're excited. Let's sell India.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.